stories from that time, stories that remain buried for many decades. Why were these stories so slow to emerge? Most Nisei, or second-generation Japanese Americans, spent decades after leaving Topaz trying to survive, to rebuild their lives, start families. They needed to get on with it and didn't have time to dwell on the past. They also wanted to protect their children from the ugly realities that they had faced during the war. They wanted their sansei, or third-generation children, us, to assimilate, to grow up, unfettered like American redwoods, not burdened and bound like bonsai by the past. But how do you claim your place in American society when you're treated like a perpetual foreigner because of your appearance? How do you stand your ground when you don't know who you are? I remember reading decades ago an interview with the American playwright August Wilson, who chronicled Black lives in plays like Fences and Ma Rainey. He said something to the effect of, "You cannot acquire a sense of self-worth by denying your past." So we sansei became archaeologists, searching for the buried fragments of our heritage. When the stories began to emerge, it was because the Nisei generation realized it was important for the world to hear them and to know about, confront, and correct past injustices so that the shameful history of wartime incarceration of innocent citizens would never be repeated in this country, so that other groups would not be targeted, their civil and human rights denied as ours were. This is the driving credo behind the Topaz Stories Project, to say never again. What drove us to devote so many volunteer hours was a sense of urgency. Families were being separated at the border, children were being incarcerated, groups were being persecuted on the basis of their religion, race, or country of origin. What happened to us was happening again. Also, each year that passed, we were losing survivors of the camps, and their stories would be lost if we didn't record them. A fact that was driven home to me when my Aunt Keo, the storyteller of the family, passed away in 2015 at the age of 102. So we wanted to save and share these stories, not only to remind people of the human consequences of injustice, but also to assure the aging survivors that we would keep their stories alive.